I'd like to read two poems about two favorite Italians. The one is a homage to Antonio Canaletto, and the other is a kind of, it's not a homage, it's simply a portrait. It's in fact based on a celebrated portrait of Rossini. So we have these two figures who have meant so much to me for so many years. The homage to Canaletto has a little epigraph from Robert Browning. Venice spent what Venice earned. The operas for which he made designs in his father's shop had consequences. He never got over the Bibbiena's groundless perspectives, and until he died, such vistas would haunt him. However close to veritable palaces he came, their porticos and balustrades composed a proscenium of hysteria. But who could count on theaters for pay? Workmen were always threatening to quit. Impresarios embarrassed. Castrati and sopranos in reciprocal fits. What could a talent do but solemnly excommunicate the stage, his own words, and set up shop in Rome? A year later, he was home again, Roman lessons learned. Certifiable views of city life mattered a good deal more than the scena all'angola. Unvarying Venice mattered most of all, the abiding dream. Little canals. What else? Colonized by perfunctory dolls. First a sketch was made, recorded by the maestro on the spot, and then redrawn by him more decorously indoors, where the product could be prepared, the sky painted in, sometimes even clouds across the canvas acres, inch by inch. And then the contours of buildings incised into that sky skin to provide guidance for eventual roofs and cornices, hemicircles marking an arch, a dome, all this done, of course, by apprentices. At times he was obsessively precise and in exquisite detail would devise the reigning doge's coat of arms to fill a space smaller than a baby's thumbnail on the ducal barge. But more likely, San Marco would glow or gloom as it had generations ago. Venice might change, stories be added, campaniles fall, but master drawings in the studio perdured his pattern serenissima, years on end. A topographical hoax, the one sure to work as long as he worked. Grand tourists continued to pay dear for proof that they had been duly discerning guests of the Carnival Republic by acquiring views from Canaletto's hand. His merit lies in painting things which fall immediately under his ogle. McSweeney wrote to England, "Why not go to England as well as to Rome? Respite from the routine of Venetian vedute lured him a moment that endured 10 years. Armed with letters to the noble lords, he proved, what could he prove? A disappointment to potential patrons who claimed they saw deterioration in his dirty Thames. And rumors even started he was not the veritable virtuoso, no Canalet at all, but an impostor, easily foiled by his cool reportage. A view of Whitehall, scrupulous enough to rout all skeptics, he stayed on. Well paid, but never, as aristocrats assumed, to paint their houses, their horses, their dogs. Nature he loathed, and next to nature sport. Having provided plausible prospects of Warwick Castle, Cambridge, Eton, Bath, he was heard to sigh as longed-for Venice loomed upon his homing horizon. How glad he was never to have to portray another tree. Another 13 years, practice made perfect sense. He persisted. Hester Thrale, become Piozzi, bought, long after his death, 7 Canalets, to which his myriad imitators seem hardly more than a camera obscura in the window of a London parlor. Remembered, required in attention. Your own Canalettos will have given a better idea of the gondola than I can convey, a friend of Byron wrote to Hallam. And a few years on, for Théophile Gautier, and not for us, Venice had become, avec ses palais, ses gondoles, la ville de Canaletto. On the last drawing, made inside St. Mark's, this busy little man, so early prized for reproducing whatever might fall under his eye, proudly informs us, done without spectacles, a Canaletto.